Benavidez, let me.
You know, hold on, before you get started, it's funny because he has so much stuff to say before the press conference, all this and that I'm a RoboCop, that he's gonna knock me out, that I don't have nothing. But now look at him, he's scared, he don't have. What's up with all that you were saying? How come you're not saying all that now? He's there, you can't even talk, he's all freaking, he's all nervous.
David Morell and David Benavidez heated things up with a fiery exchange during their live call, sparking intense excitement among fans. However, Robert Garcia recently gave his take on the upcoming bout between David Benavidez and David Morell, calling it a fight fans won't want to miss. He pointed out that these are the kinds of matchups people want to see. Garcia mentioned that both fighters are moving up in weight to chase bigger opportunities, and this fight is exactly what boxing needs right now. He explained that in lighter weight classes like 115 and 118 pounds, there aren't many big names. So this clash between two powerful fighters at a higher weight is crucial for the sport.
Benavidez, Morell. How does that fight go?
See, those are the fights that need to happen, man. Those are the fights that the world wants to see. You know, I was talking about that about Bam, but there's no big names for Bam at 115. 118, maybe a couple. 122, maybe one day, 3 years from now. But Benavidez, you know, and Morell, they both move up to a division where they're chasing the big fights and now they're fighting each other. That's gonna be a sick-ass fight. Can't wait for that one.
Garcia also talked about how the fight might unfold, admitting it's tough to pick a winner. Both Benavidez and Morell are known for their power and aggression, which makes this matchup so exciting. While he respects Morell's abilities, Garcia believes Benavidez is the favorite to win. Regardless of who wins, Garcia is excited for the fight, saying it will show that the biggest and best matchups should be made in boxing.
Both they're gonna put up. I don't know, man. It's a hard pick, but I'm going with Benavidez, definitely.
Mexico.
Definitely have to go with Benavidez. But
Yeah.
I'm glad. See, they're showing everybody else, you know, that fights could, you know, they need to happen. We need to see them.
Tim Bradley believes David Morell still lacks experience, expressing disappointment with Morell's recent performance. He feels Benavidez has the upper hand, not only because of his pressure fighting, but also his ability to box and move when needed. Bradley thinks Morell will face difficulties against Benavidez's all-around skills, with the former champion's versatility making him a tough challenge.
I still think Morell still needs a little bit more seasoning, to be honest with you. I wasn't too fond of his last fight.
Part of why
I really
I'm
was.
Benavidez. Yep.
Yeah, it wasn't too fond. You know, Benavidez can do a little bit of everything. We only see him as being a pressure type of assassin type of guy, you know, throwing quick combinations and really, you know, just stepping on the gas and squashing guys. But, you know, he can move and box if he wants to as well. You know, he can. I've seen him, you know, so he has that degree. So he can do a little bit of everything in there, which makes me believe that, you know, Morell's gonna struggle against that, man. Morell, he likes guys that are, you know, pretty much stationary, man, in my opinion.
David Benavidez's sparring partner described him as a true monster in the ring, highlighting his pressure, skill, and non-stop energy. He believes the fight will end with a knockout by David, noting how hard Benavidez works in training. The sparring partners shared that they've been working together for 5 weeks, starting in Miami and now training in Las Vegas. He emphasized that Benavidez is a different level of fighter, showing major improvements during camp.
David is just a monster. He's just a lot of pressure, skill, hard, and he has like a lot of energy, aura inside of the ring. So the only way I see that fight coming is a knockout by David. And also he works hard. He works hard. I was able to be sparring him for 5 weeks from now. We started camp at Miami. Now we're wrapping camp here in Vegas, and he's just different, man. He's just different.
David's sparring partner described him as a relentless fighter who keeps moving forward, applying pressure and throwing punches. He believes Benavidez can take hits and keeps going, and that everyone will see on February 1st just how different David is. He called him a monster and predicted that Benavidez would knock Morell out, likely before the 10th round. The sparring partner stated that it's inevitable, emphasizing that the knockout will happen.
David's a guy that comes forward, pressure, throw punches. He can take the punches, so I'm telling you, everyone will see on February 1st, David. David is different. He's just a monster.
What round? It sounds like you think he stops him.
Oh yeah, he's definitely, mark my words, David is gonna knock the Morell. I think under 10 rounds. I don't know, but it's gonna happen. Inevitable.
Jose Benavidez Jr. criticized David Morell for throwing the belt at the Miami press conference, calling it disrespectful. He questioned why Morell didn't handle his frustration better, saying it didn't match his tough image and showed poor character. Benavidez Jr. was surprised, believing such actions hurt Morell's reputation ahead of the big fight.
There's been a lot of bad blood with this build-up because of what's happened at the press conferences. You as a bystander, what'd you make of what happened in Miami?
I wasn't there though, that's the thing.
Morell threw the belt at him, David ducked.
I don't know why the belt. That's something you don't do. What if there would have been, someone said he was a kid or something? If you don't do that. And that's how you know he's not how he says he is. He walks around like he's gangster. He's like, none of that. Why are you gonna throw a belt? Why not pass the belt down to the side and go handle it? If you're really mad, if you're really about that, I mean, it is what it is.
Did that type of response surprise you, from him?
It just made me seem like he's a.
During the live call, David Benavidez and David Morell had an intense exchange, with both fighters showing their fiery sides. Benavidez was confident, speaking about his superiority and how he's ready for the challenge. Morell fired back with strong words, not backing down from the pressure. The tension between the two was palpable, as each fighter made it clear they're ready for the upcoming showdown.
Benavidez, let me...
Hold on, before you get started, it's funny because he has so much stuff to say before the press conference, all this and that I'm a RoboCop, that he's gonna knock me out, that I don't have nothing. But now look at him, he's scared, you don't have. What's up with all that you were saying? How come you're not saying all that now? He's there, you can't even talk, he's all freaking, he's all nervous. He's all nervous.
Bro, he's just saying,
Where's all that?
Bro, you had the RoboCop, man, you had the RoboCop, you know what I mean? You had the RoboCop, this is my fault, you don't have nothing, bro. This is my fault.
I'm gonna beat the shit out.
This is my fault, you don't have nothing.
What? Do now. I'm gonna retire that. You don't have nothing. Stop saying all this shit. That's it. I'm gonna beat the shit out you.
This is actually...
No,
that's exactly what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna beat the shit out you. You're never gonna come back to boxing.
You can do it, bro. You can do it.
Okay,
I'm ready, baby. I'm ready. I'm teaching you the really boxing. I'm teaching you. I'm teaching you, bro.
I can't wait. I want you to say that right after the fight. Right after the fight, when I got you on the...
You can do it, man. I want you to say right now, bro. You know nothing.
David Morell expressed complete confidence in his upcoming fight, saying he's 100% certain he will win no matter how it happens, whether by knockout or decision from the judges. He believes he has all the necessary skills and conditions to come out on top on February 1st. Morell's strong conviction shows his determination and readiness to prove himself in the ring.
Para obtener la victoria en esa pelea.
I'm 100% convinced that I'm gonna win this fight. I don't care which way I win it, if I knock him out or if it's after the final bout with the judges. I know I have all the conditions and the skill needed to come out on top on February 1st.
David Benavidez wrapped up the conversation with a bold statement, saying all the talking is done and that he'll see his opponent soon. He confidently added that Morell will be seeing him in his nightmares, showing just how intense and personal this rivalry has become. Benavidez's words made it clear he's fully focused and ready for the fight, with no more need for words before the showdown.
Oh yeah, everything is done. All the talking is done. I'll see you soon. And I know you see me in your nightmares. So I'll see you soon.
Morell, you want to say something back before you go?
Amor y paz.
Jesus Ramos recently shared his thoughts on the potential matchup between David Benavidez and David Morell, recognizing both fighters' skills. While he praised Morell for his talent and amateur experience, Ramos believes that Morell lacks the professional experience that Benavidez has gained by facing tough opponents like Andre Dirrell and Caleb Plant. Ramos feels that Morell's lack of experience in longer, tougher fights could hurt him, especially if he becomes frustrated, as he did in his last bout.
Yeah, no, man. All connections aside, all friendships aside, I like both guys. I like both guys' styles. I think they're both very exciting. I've learned a lot from Morell. He's a southpaw himself, and I've learned a couple things from him watching the fight. But I just feel like he's lacking the experience, that Benavidez already has. He fought Andrade, he fought Caleb Plant. Those are tough guys, man, and he beat them. And Morell, he's extremely talented. He's got a lot of amateur experience, but I still feel like, and I think he kind of showed it in that last fight where he needs that pro experience. He needs a tricky, cagey guy to take him some rounds, because he got a little frustrated there, in that last fight. So I still feel like he lacks that experience.
Ramos gave the edge to Benavidez, citing his experience and ability to handle tough rounds as the likely deciding factor. He predicts Morell will come out strong early, but ultimately believes Benavidez's experience will allow him to take control in the later rounds and secure a victory.
And I feel like Benavidez has been there and he's done that. So I think that I give the edge to Benavidez in that aspect. And I feel like Morell might come out strong, but I see Benavidez edging that out in the later rounds.
Canelo Alvarez, who has faced some of the greatest fighters of his generation, sees the Benavidez versus Morell matchup as evenly balanced. Speaking to IFL TV, Canelo described the fight as a 50-50 battle due to the exceptional skills and knockout power both fighters possess. He highlighted the youth, speed, and aggression of Benavidez, alongside the technical ability, defensive skills, and power of Morell. Canelo believes both fighters have what it takes to win, making it a thrilling and unpredictable contest. He stated, "It's going to be a good fight, 50-50 fight." Paulie Malignaggi recently argued that while Canelo Alvarez dominates the financial side of boxing, the best fight in the weight class is between David Benavidez and David Morell. He believes both fighters have the potential to beat Canelo, pointing out the disparity between the financial power and actual top talent in the sport. Malignaggi criticized the boxing world, saying it's backwards that the most profitable fights don't always feature the best matchups.
But the biggest problem is this. All the money is in Canelo Alvarez, but the best fight is probably Benavidez versus Morell. You know what I mean? Like the best fight in terms of the top, who are actually the top two guys in this weight class are probably Benavidez and Morell. I think they both beat Canelo. You know, it's funny because all the money's with Canelo, so everything revolves around Canelo. And this is why this sport is backward.
Jesse Hart identified several weaknesses in David Morell's last fight, particularly his tendency to slow down after the 9th round. Hart noted that Morell can be vulnerable to being caught if an opponent lands a punch at the right moment. He also raised concerns about Morell's habits outside the ring and whether they might affect his performance. Hart is keeping a close eye on Morell's progress and believes David Benavidez could exploit these weaknesses in their upcoming fight.
Dave Morell, I'm looking, has he grown? Can we get him? That last fight, I seen a lot of weaknesses in him, a lot of weaknesses. I'm looking at have he grown from that fight. Did he went 12 rounds for the first time in his ever career? You know what I mean? Around the 9th, I seen he start slowing down. I seen you can touch him, you can clip him if you get him at the right time. He slows down around about the 9th round. And David Benavidez, his living habits outside the ring, did that catch up to him? I'm watching for all that. And I'll be looking February 1st to see if my prediction is right.
Lonnie B recently shared his thoughts on the upcoming fight between David Benavidez and David Morell, acknowledging that it will be a tough challenge for Benavidez. He praised Morell for his skills, describing him as a big, slick fighter with a dangerous Cuban style. Lonnie B highlighted Morell's footwork and ability to punch and move, making him a tricky opponent for the powerful Benavidez.
Tough fight. David Morell is really good. He's really, really good. Yeah, he's good. I can't even. He's good. You know?
You kind of giving me a face like you don't know who wins that fight.
Yeah, I don't.
Oh.
Because David Morell is big too. He's big for super middleweight too.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He's big. He can punch. He's slick. Real got that Cuban style. What he Cuban?
Yeah.
Like real slick.
But offensive with it.
Offensive with it, and those styles are tough for anybody to fight. For anybody to fight.
Even the Mexican monster?
Even the Mexican monster.
Lonnie B pointed out that Morell's ability to avoid punishment while landing clean shots creates challenges for Benavidez. He noted the contrast in their styles, with Benavidez using his size and strength to wear down opponents, but lacking the slickness and elusiveness of Morell. He emphasized that Benavidez's usual strategy may not work as well against Morell, who can counterpunch and move. Lonnie B ultimately sees this as a 50-50 fight.
Especially with Dave, with that style he got, David's really not slick. He just uses his size to wear guys down. He you walk him down and he's so big, you hitting him, but you really can't get him good because he's too big. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? With David Morell, he would really have to worry about some heat coming back being thrown at him, and David Morell got real good feet. He got real good feet, so I think that would give David some trouble, and he can punch.
So would you favor David or Canelo in that sense? Oh, and I mean David as in Benavidez? No.
It's a 50-50 fight. David Morell and David Benavidez is a 50-50 fight, in my opinion.
Leonard Ellerby expressed his excitement for the upcoming fight between David Benavidez and David Morell, calling it a thrilling 50-50 battle. He expects an intense matchup with both fighters likely to hit the canvas at some point, possibly early in the fight, and both facing moments of injury or danger. Ellerby highlighted the back-and-forth nature of the fight, noting that both fighters are hungry for victory and eager to make a statement. With all the trash talk leading up to it, he believes the fans will be the real winners.
I anticipated this to be a very, very, very 50-50 kind of fight. I expected somebody's going to hit the canvas, and it probably might be early, and the other person might get hurt in the fight. It's going to be a lot of ups and downs, ebbs and flows in this particular fight because both guys really, really want it bad, and want to make a big statement. It's going to be a lot of trash talking with the build-up. So this is one of those kind of fights that the fans will actually win with this.
Caleb Plant discussed the upcoming fight between David Benavidez and David Morell, highlighting the significance of the matchup due to their contrasting styles. Plant noted that Benavidez is very aggressive and effective with his combinations, while Morell, although skilled, is more crafty and passive in his approach. He recognized that both fighters bring unique strengths, making the fight an exciting one. Plant emphasized the potential of the matchup and expressed his excitement to see how the fight plays out.
You know, their styles are different. Southpaw, right-handed, you know, one puts their punches together very well, and so does David Morell, but he's a little more crafty. Well, he's a little more maybe passive in his approach. You know, I'll say that. And but that's a big fight. You know, that's one I'm excited for. So
Chris Algieri, a former world champion, is giving the edge to Benavidez. I think at 175 I would favor Benavidez. At 168 I may favor Morell. He is fantastic, said Algieri. Regardless, this fight, whatever weight class that it happens at, it's a very tough fight. It's a very close fight. I'm very happy it's on the docket. He added, I can't wait until we get there because you never know in this sport. It's an exciting time that we've got these young guys fighting each other. Demetrius Andrade shared his thoughts on David Morell, stating that he hasn't seen enough of his fights to fully assess his abilities. While acknowledging Morell's size and decent speed, Andrade pointed out that Morell can be a bit wild with his punches, which he believes will improve with more experience. Andrade emphasized that for Morell to succeed at the elite level, he needs to tighten up his technique and refine his skills.
It's tough because I haven't really watched David Morell fight by fight. I don't, you know, to really see what he has. I seen maybe like one or two of his fights. I was like, okay, he's a big kid. He got some decent speed, but he's a little wild with his punches. You know, that comes with experience, of course, when he'll start tightening it up.
Stephen Edwards praised David Morell's strength and size, expressing admiration for the Cuban fighter. However, he pointed out that Morell's size advantage at 168 pounds has allowed him to dominate smaller opponents, limiting his ability to fully display his boxing IQ and other skills. Edwards believes Morell hasn't faced enough challenges to show his full range of abilities, especially in terms of strategy and adaptability. He feels Morell's true potential hasn't been tested yet in tougher matchups.
I'm very impressed with David Morell, but he kind of relies on his forcefulness, his strength, his size. I mean, he's way too big to be fighting 68 pounds. I've been around, he's a big guy, you know, so I'm very, very impressed with him. But a lot of the guys he's been fighting are so much smaller than he is where he doesn't have to go into his bag of tricks and rely on other things like his IQ and things like that. And I'm not saying he doesn't have it, but I haven't seen it yet.
Elijah Vines expressed his belief that David Benavidez will dominate the upcoming fight against David Morell, despite liking both fighters' styles and personalities. He feels Benavidez's experience and skill set will be too much for Morell to handle. While acknowledging Morell's talent, Vines is confident that Benavidez will execute his game plan, using his strength and abilities to control the fight and win.
I think Benavidez is I always liked Benavidez. Always liked him. So I feel like
That's because you're a boxer puncher. You love boxer punches.
Absolutely, but I don't know. I can resonate with him. Like I like his style. You know, I like his personality. You know what I mean? I feel like that's going to be a good fight. But I feel like Benavidez is going to dominate.
Dominate?
Dominate, yeah. Some people might call me crazy because I had this conversation, but I don't know. I see a lot of stuff. I see a lot of things that Benavidez is going to be able to execute with a fighter like that.
Vines doesn't expect Benavidez to stop Morell, but predicts that Benavidez will dominate most of the rounds. While Morell might find success at times, Vines believes Benavidez's overall strength and skill will prevail, leading to a unanimous decision victory for Benavidez.
I don't think he's going to stop him. I think he's going to dominate majority of the rounds. Not all the rounds, but I feel like he's going to dominate, but it's going to be by unanimous decision.
So, what are your thoughts on this? Who do you think will come out on top, Morell or Benavidez? Share your thoughts in the comment section and make sure to subscribe and like if you enjoyed the video.